Right, okay, we're recording. Let me adjust that camera a little. I don't know how bad that's going to vibrate because it's on a long arm. And it's mounted to a mirror, which doesn't help. Okay folks, good morning, how are we all doing? Today we're down at M&P's in Cardiff again, and I'm test riding and reviewing the Royal Enfield Continental GT 650. 650 parallel twin calf racer styling. Now I have, as it happens, ridden this bike before. I came down for the Royal Enfield open day and I took a ride on this bike. Oh, that camera's not going to work, is it? Sorry, I'm going to have to pull over and change the camera over. I'll come back to you in a minute. Yep, we're filming again. Right, sorry about that folks. Had to change the arm that holds the camera. The longer one didn't work. Okay, as I say, we're on the Continental GT 650 twin. I have ridden this bike before at the Enfield open day. But I want to take it out on a proper test ride. See what I thought of it. In all honesty, I am genuinely interested in this bike for myself. That's what we're doing. We are out on the Royal Enfield Continental GT 650 parallel twin, the calf racer styled bike. It's the same as the Interceptor basically, with a different bodywork. And it's a bike I particularly wanted to try, although I did ride it on the test day, the Royal Enfield open day. I really want to try this bike for myself on a proper test ride, same as you would do. Because I am genuinely interested in owning one myself. Now, as always, I will state that all the comments in this video are my opinions based on basically a 30-minute to an hour test ride, no different to what you would do if you went down to the shop and booked a test ride for yourself. And it's my opinions on what I think of the bike when I ride it. Obviously you may think different, so I strongly recommend, if you're interested, go try one for yourself. Book a test ride and try it yourself. So, what do we think of the Continental GT? Well, it's a calf racer styling, so quite sporty. I'm 5'6" with 30-inch inside leg. I can get my feet down quite easily, well, basically the balls of my feet, albeit the foot pegs are of course exactly where my feet need to be when I put my feet down. Sod's law. The riding position, I say, is quite sporty. You are leant forward onto the bars because they are clip-ons, albeit they're above the yokes. But they're not heavy on your wrist, even at slower speeds. Foot pegs, as you'd expect, are slightly rear set. Indicators. In a comfortable position, I would say. The seat is quite firm. Well, there's loads of room. So if you're a slightly taller person, there's no issues with fitting on the bike like. Controls wise, throttle is nice and responsive. Brakes are really nice. Very responsive and powerful, although it's a single disc front. I don't think it needs any more. The clutch is light and smooth. Obviously there's no quick shifter blipper, there's no rider modes or any of that stuff on here. It is pretty basic. But that's what I like about Enfields. They are basic bikes, but they are good quality. Your switch gear is very simple and basic. Indicators, horn, light switch, start, kill switch and hazards. I'll go over this again when I do a walk around. Your clocks, very much retro styling as it should be. The twin clocks, rev counter, speedo, and a little digital information display which I presume gives you things like your fuel gauge, etc. Haven't really looked into it properly. As far as I can tell, there is no adjustment on the front suspension, and rear suspension I believe is preload only. Again, I'll go through it on the walk around. Having said that, the ride is very, very comfortable. These roads are not the best, but the ride is really nice. It's easy to ride at slow speeds. We'll try quicker roads shortly. I'm round town at the moment doing the round town manners, and it's lovely. No issues at all. Bit of a pull on my shoulders because I'm not used to the riding position. The bars are a nice reasonable width. They're not too wide, not too narrow. I find my knees fit nicely into the tank. They do tend to catch. Basically, two little protection brackets on the top of the cylinder heads, and my knees are touching them. But if I open my legs a bit wider, they don't. If I get a chance to stop, I'll show you those little protection bits, or I'll show you on the walk around. Back brake is nice, works well. Something I find with a lot of the Enfields is the rear brake is really good on them. A lot of more modern bikes, the rear brake tends to be a bit, well, a bit pointless really. I do find with the Enfields they do supply pretty good back brakes. The front brake is lovely. So here we go. Right, we just popped into one of my favourite walk around spots, Cosmeston Lakes. I'm doing like 12 miles an hour in second gear, no problem at all. Right, we'll park up here and we'll do the walk around. Isn't this lovely? Actually, while we're here, switch gear, hazards, start motor, or starter kill switch. Headlights, you've got high beam, dip beam, and your pass light. Indicators, horn. Right, there's a button there, which I presume, yeah, that gives you your trip meters, your odometer, trip A, trip B, the odometer, 13.2 miles. That's it. Mirrors are great. I've had no problem with the mirrors other than trying to get them lined up where I want them to be. I personally would fit bar end mirrors, given a choice. It's a lovely bike. Really enjoying riding this, I've got to be honest. Right, shut her off and we'll do a walk around. Back in a jiffy. Right. I'll do this with a helmet cam because it's much easier. Royal Enfield Continental GT 650 Twin. Calf racer styling, as you can see. You've got an oil and air cooled twin cylinder engine, 650-ish cc, around 47 brake horsepower. What I'll do, I'll put up the facts and figures I've gleaned off the internet for you on the screen now. Right, moving on. You have 650 twin. I believe it's a 6-speed gearbox. I haven't actually sussed it out yet. Let's do an overall walk around. Fuel tank, don't know the capacity, but that should be in the statistics. Twin seats, you can get a seat cowl for it, which I would. Twin exhaust system, which looks beautiful, and it sounds lovely as a standard system. Personally, I'll probably put some aftermarket cans on so it sounds a little bit nicer. Front suspension, normal weight forks, as I say, non-adjustable, with these lovely little gaiters on, very retro. And the rear suspension, although it's got a remote reservoir, I don't think it actually does anything, it's more for show. Preload adjustment, twin shocks. Single disc rear, single pot caliper. I believe the brakes are built by Brembo for Royal Enfield, but I wouldn't swear to it. Working around the back, got this, well, that plastic bit would go if it was mine. Old school styled indicator, retro if you like, indicators and tail light. I like it, some may not, I quite like it, I think it's a nice retro feel to it. Spoked wheels, which work perfectly. Now, as you can see, the foot pegs are quite far back, they're sort of rear set. The only issue I found was the side stand sits right underneath the foot peg, so it makes it a little difficult to get the side stand down. Slightly annoying, but hey ho, I could live with that. Those are the metal brackets that my knees were touching when I was riding. Keep your knees off the cylinder head so you don't burn your knees. Edging forwards, there we are. Bybury, which I believe is a subsidiary of Brembo, is a front caliper. Twin pot caliper? Yes, twin pot front brake caliper, single disc, which works perfectly well. No issues at all. There is adjustment on the clutch and brake lever for the span adjuster if you've got shorter fingers. Headlight, I'm guessing is LED. And again, retro styled indicators. It's all retro styling. Really, really nice. Tyres wise, I've absolutely no idea because I can't see them properly. I think they're 18-inch tyres. Overall, a very nice retro styled bike. I love it personally, I think it's great. It is the same bike, same chassis and everything as the Interceptor. A few differences like foot pegs, handlebars, etc. This is my cup of tea. I really do like calf races, as I've said. So yeah, there we go. That is your Continental GT. Not a lot you can say about it really. It's a nice, simple, basic bike, 650 twin. Realistically, if you know your way around a box of spanners, you could service this bike yourself. Obviously, you've got to be careful with your warranty, but you could, if you bought a second-hand one, service it yourself. I think it's lovely, and I really would like to own one myself. Maybe in due course I will. Yeah, there we go. That's the walk around. I don't think there's much else I can tell you about it, really. But yeah, I really like that. I think it's a lovely bike. If you want a calf racer, sorted. I'll give you prices at some point once I check the shop what they're running at. I think we're talking about £5.5 grand up for the GT, I believe. I will double check and I'll put price up on the video. In fact, I'll put them up now. There you go. Yes, I know Triumph build similar bikes like the Thruxtons and the Bonnevilles, etc. A Triumph are better quality components, maybe better build quality to a degree, but they are a lot more pricey. I personally would prefer the Royal Enfield. Okay folks, I don't know what the wind noise is like because, like I said, I'm wearing an adventure helmet and there's no wind protection at all. We are sat at 70 miles an hour, about 4,800 RPM, and we're comfortably sat at 70. So this bike will do motorway speeds quite comfortably. No issues at all. It's stable. I'm on a bend in the road. No issues at all. Should you need to overtake, yes, it's got plenty of power for an overtake. So you can say that this bike is quite capable of cruising at motorway speeds with no issues at all. Obviously no wind protection, like I say, because it's a naked bike, and as I said before, I'm wearing an adventure helmet, which is not the best to wear on a naked bike, especially a calf racer. Yeah, the wind helps keep you lifted up off the weight off the wrists, if you like, so it's a very comfortable place to be. Another box ticked. Okie dokie. Just done a few roundabouts. Couldn't really do much because weather conditions and I was stuck behind a lorry. But all things considered, handles very well. No complaints there, no complaints with the power. So my only issue with this bike is the side stand's a bit of a bugger to get at. And it does feel heavy when you're pushing it around, but other than that I've got no complaints at all. Would I change anything on this bike? For me personally, yes I would. I'd replace these horrible mirrors, in my opinion, with nice little chrome bar end mirrors, just for the looks more than anything. I would probably fit I would probably fit an aftermarket set of exhaust cans just for the sound. It sounds great as it is with a stock system, but I personally would fit a set of cans on it to improve the sound. And I'd like to have a seat cowl to cover the back seat, just again for the aesthetics, the looks of it. Just so it looks nice. No other reason. And that would do me nicely. So, quick summary. I say a lovely 650 twin, really nice to ride, handles well considering it's very basic, brakes are lovely, no real complaints whatsoever, switch gears easy, all the controls are nice and light and powerful, you know, do exactly what they're meant to do. It's got enough power for what it is. Yeah, you could do it more, but then I think it's fine as it is. As a weekend toy, sunny weather ride out bike, yeah, perfect. Yes, you could go touring on it, yes, you could do long distances on it. Don't think I'd want to, not too often, but that's just me personally. The big question, would I own one? Yes, I would. In fact, that was part of the reason I test rode this bike today, because I do, hopefully in the future, plan to buy one. Not sure how long that'll be. Could be a long time, but it is definitely on my radar. So in answer to the age-old question, would I own one? Yes, I damn well would. Right, so I'm going to head back to the shop and return the bike and tell them how wonderful they all are down at M&P's. Go say, if you want to do a test ride, get yourself down to M&P's. They've got loads of Enfields there, good mixture, including this one. Get yourself down, book a test ride, see what you think. Everything I've said is my opinions, what I think of the bike. Doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. Right, just before I go folks, I've got to say a massive thank you to M&P's in Cardiff for allowing me to take the bike out for a test ride and to film the review. As I say, they have no control of what I say or do. They just allow me to ride the bikes, and I ride them same as you would, basically a test ride, and give my opinions on what I think of it. So again, massive thank you to M&P's in Cardiff. Get yourself down there, check out their bikes, they got all sorts, especially Enfields, which I'm a bit of a fan anyway. So there we go folks, I hope you've enjoyed this little test ride review of the Royal Enfield Continental 650 GT Calf Racer. If you have liked it, please do click the like button. If you haven't, click the dislike button. If you have any comments to make, please leave them in the comment section below. If you want to share my videos, please do go ahead and share them. All this helps with interaction with YouTube, which means they promote my channel more and more people get to see my videos. As always, I'll ask you to please do subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you do subscribe, you click the little bell icon and then click all. That will notify you whenever I put up a video, which is usually about once a week-ish. I do ride out reviews, all sorts, on my own bikes and whatever I can get my hands on, basically. Anyway folks, I'm off ski as I'm heading back to the shop. It just leaves me to say the most important bit of all. Whatever you're doing folks, please be safe, ride safe and have fun. And of course, otherwise Mrs. Grumps does get grumpy. Toodles! Now, how can I wangle the finances to buy one of these?